Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Call of Duty Modern Warfare video. In today's video, we have some absolute huge news. There was a big update into Modern Warfare tonight that was 1.8 gigabytes and basically it added kill confirmed into the game, fixed some sort of bugs, but what it added to the game files is absolutely mind-blowing. 38 upcoming multiplayer maps are now found in the game files and the game coding. A lot of these names being very familiar to stuff we've seen in Call of Duty before. I made a video the other day talking about 10 plus multiplayer maps that we should be getting coming to the game soon as free DLC, and in this video we're going to be talking about all of these ones we can find in the files. There's literally 38 of them. Now I'm not sure if of course some of these names might be changed before they're released, or some of these might end up never coming out anyway. 38 maps to have already in the coding does seem like a lot, but this was leaked on Reddit to do with the new update by a known Reddit leaker, Senescalo, and this looks absolutely crazy. So I don't know what Infinity Ward is doing this year, but it looks like this may go from being a game that's sort of incomplete or not having too many maps, or especially good maps on the start, to having a unbelievable amount if all of this stuff it ends up being released over the next couple months. A lot of stuff to talk about anyway. We're going to go through and cover all this thing. We have a couple new images as well as these, of course, all the coding in the game file. So drop a like on this thing if you guys could. Go ahead and go for 931 likes. If we could hit that, that would be absolutely incredible. I'm recording this video at 3 a.m. right now. I'm guessing everyone's sleeping. I don't know where people are at. You know, new COD just came out. It's the second weekend, but this is some really big news. So let's go ahead and break it down. Drop a like. Like I said, really do appreciate everyone new subscribing as well. We're closing on 1 million subscribers. The support has just been insane lately. I've been grinding these videos out, so thank you guys so much for all the support. Subscribe, drop a like, and here we go. So first of all, we'll talk about a lot of these ones. We just have names because it's just in the code files. It'll say MP_M_, and then the name of the map. We don't necessarily have the images for all of them, but we do have it for some of them, including some of the ones I talked about in my previous video, and also a bunch of new ones that we're going to cover in today's video. So first of all, let's go ahead and break down the gunfight. In the coding for gunfight, there is cage, cargo, and hook. And cargo is known to be shipment. That's sort of the thing, is that shipment is going to be renamed as cargo. That's the info that we had in our last video. Now, of course, before we break down all of this stuff, just because these are in the game files and these are actually in the files as of right now, does not mean that every single one of these is going to be released. Like I said earlier, these could be working titles. So if they say hook in the files, they might end up rebranding that before they end up putting out the actual map. But what this does tell us is we're definitely getting a ton of maps, and some of these names are very exciting and familiar. So gunfight, cage, cargo, which is probably going to be shipment, hook. Then we have exclusion zone, which I showed in my last video, a darker looking map, but we do have an image for that. We also have shoot house, which this one looks like, it really reminds me of a COD 4 map, honestly, just by looking at this. And that again is for gunfight. And then when we go into the 6v6 and the 10v10, this is where we have a list of just an unbelievable amount of stuff. So I'll go ahead and read through the entire list and show it up on the screen for you guys, and then I'll point out ones that sort of stand out to me as far as names. So Anai Attack, Crash, Dam, Krovnik Farmland, Gulag, Hospital, Layover, Lowline, Lumber, Malishev, Mill Base, Oasis, Port, Prison, Rivni, Shipment, Shipment Day and Shipment Night, Slums, Stadium, Subbase, Super, Uristan, if I'm saying that correctly, Torres, Transit, and TV station. Then we also have Farada, which I talked about in a previous video. We have some images for Farada, which I'll show up right here. This is a bigger image. Last time we only had what it looked like in the mini image. Now we have a bigger image of this map, Farada, as well as basically what one of the buildings looks like on that map, as well as Rust, which I've shown before. Takedown, which is a new one that we do have an image for as well. This map looks kind of cool. Honestly, this image, it looks really dark. I hope the colors on the actual map are a little bit brighter than this. It looks a little bit dark, just like Exclusion Zone, but Takedown, these are all 6v6 or 10v10 ones. Then we have Borderline. This map looks pretty amazing, to be honest. I like the colors on this map, and I do like this image. Obviously, we can't tell, how the maps, if it's a medium, small, or large map from this, but we can tell that it looks like it's going to be good. And then for Ground War, Smetna Farms. farms, which I talked about farms coming to Ground War before. We now have sort of an overview of this map, which is very interesting. Show that up on the screen right now as well, where it looks like this map is going to be basically an open farmland with a bunch of buildings. So the combat, I think, is probably going to be interesting on this map. It's going to be Ground War, most likely, I'd say 32v32, just by looking at that map size. Who knows? Maybe they decide to take this to 50v50 or something like that. You know, this game is made to face a variety of different size lobbies. But yeah, this looks like an interesting map, and it looks like it stays on point with what they have of their Ground War. Then also we have a gun course, which of course we've had this stuff being added into the game, similar to how it was in like Call of Duty 4, where you do these little courses, and marksman range, which is another course as well. So that was a lot of info to take in. Like I said, you saw some cool images, but what about these ones that don't have images and that are just names in the files? So we'll go through and let me talk about ones that stand out to me. First of all, Crash, of course, stands out to me, being that it says Crash 2 in the files, and of course Crash is from Call of Duty 4 originally. It also came back into Modern Warfare 2 as a DLC, and this is a map that I think would be really, really good in this game and would be a nice small to medium-sized map that would fit well in this game. Now, once again, just because it's named Crash, these could just be working title names, or it could just be another map that's named Crash. We've had Call of Duty loves to reuse the same names for different things. So even if we have a map that's literally, you know, like one of these ones, Stadium, that stands out to me as probably being Stadium from like we had in Black Ops 1. However, who knows? It could be a completely different map just with the same name. You really never know with these guys, but this is definitely a lot of interesting stuff. So we'll go back to it. Crash, of course, that one definitely stands out to me as a name that I recognize. Next is Gulag. Gulag is one that we have in 2v2 Gunfight as of right now, similar to sort of Free Fall, I would say, just by looking at the map, what it looks like in 2v2s. And this is under the list in the files of 6v6 or 10v10 of actual multiplayer maps. So I think maybe they're going to be blowing that map up and making it sort of like a Free Fall 6v6. I think if that's just my prediction. If that's the case, I think that would be absolutely dope and amazing. The next one I noticed is Oasis. Oasis was a DLC map that we had in Modern Warfare 3. As I'm talking about each of these things, I'm going to be showing the pictures up on the screen of, you know, referencing what I'm talking about. Once again, just because this one's called Oasis does not mean it's going to be the same Oasis we had before, and it, you know, this map might even be, they might change the name from Oasis to Lumberyard and then release it. You really never know. These are just game files, but it does definitely get the hype up, and it's interesting to talk about, and it shows us for sure that their game plan this year is completely different. They released the game sort of with a small amount of the maps complete, and then they're going to bring out, you know, probably a battle royale, and then start to unload these maps onto us. Who knows, you know, throughout the coming next 6 months or whatever it's going to be. So Oasis stands out to me. Prison stands out to me. I think there was a map on called Ghost that was something to do with a prison. I'm not sure. That sort of rings a bell. I don't really remember. If it was, I don't think it was my favorite map from back in the day. Then we have Shipment here. This interests me as well because we had from previous leaks that we had from the Gaming Revolution, he talked about Shipment being named Cargo, and we also have a map listed under the files for Cargo for Gunfight. So I'm thinking maybe Cargo will be the 2v2 version, and then Shipment will be our 6v6 version. Maybe how like Gulag Showers will be the 2v2 version, and then they'll rename that for a 6v6 as well, or just call it straight up Gulag. So they have Shipment, and then they also have a day version and a night version of Shipment. Of course, we all know that. Next one is Slums. This stands out to me because if you're a fan of Treyarch and Black Ops games, you know about Slums from BO2, from BO4. Probably, honestly, one of my favorite maps in Call of Duty history. Now, once again, we're talking Modern Warfare here. We're talking Infinity War. This is not a Treyarch game. If this was a Treyarch game, I would say, oh, Slums in the files. That means we're getting the official Slums. I don't know if that's going to be the same Slums that we had in the other COD, or if that's just a working name. Who knows? But seeing that makes my heart jump a little bit because that definitely brings back some good moments. Just thinking about patrolling that middle, you know, getting your streaks up and pushing back on some Slums on like BO2, BO4, even more recently. Next, Stadium. Like I said with Stadium, that was probably one of the better DLC maps of all time that came out once again in a Black Ops game, Black Ops 1. I really like that map, especially because it's based around a hockey rink as well, which you don't get too often in Call of Duty, and I just honestly thought that was a really, really good flowing map in terms of 6v6 and as a DLC map. Next is Subbase. Now, Subbase, this one definitely rings a bell. Modern Warfare 2. I think this map would play amazing on this game. I think it would be a perfect size for this game, and it could probably play well well in, I guess, 6v6. Oh, I would love to see it in 10v10. Maybe that would be a bit too hectic. Honestly, personally, though, I would love to see it. I'd love to have the fun, but maybe we just get that for 6v6. Subbase was one that I wouldn't say it was my favorite map in Modern Warfare 2, but it was definitely up there. It was definitely a good map in that game, and it would be one that it wouldn't be my first pick of a map to bring back from Modern Warfare 2, but it definitely wouldn't be my last pick either. And then we also have Transit. Transit rings a bell just because of, I guess, the zombies thing from, you know, Transit. Obviously, it's spelled differently, I think, as well, so that's probably completely unrelated. And then the last one on this list, which is interesting, is TV Station, which is very interesting because of the fact that the previous leaks talk about the Battle Royale map having a part of the map that's sort of based on Broadcast from Call of Duty 4. And Broadcast and TV Station, of course, those are very easy to correlate together. So possibly TV Station, this happens all the time when they remake old maps, they give it a brand new name. Possibly TV Station could be Broadcast from COD 4, and that would be one that would play probably pretty good on like 10v10. Yeah, honestly, 10v10. I would not want to see that in 6v6. I'd like to see that mainly in 10v10. Add some more good maps to that 10v10 mode, because that's personally what I've been playing the most and having the most fun with. But as of right now, we only have like 3 maps in 10v10 Dom. Anyway, this stuff is all very interesting. Like I said, you know, take this as you want to. These are all in the game files. Now, I don't think we're just going to get 38 maps in the next update. I think they're going to be rolling out these maps slowly and steadily over the next months. And of course, they put this in. They know people are going to find this in the files and talk about it, as we've already been talking about the 10+ maps that were leaked and we were talking about before, as well as the Battle Royale and stuff. And now this is just going to drive the hype even more through the roof. This is definitely very interesting to me, and it is really a different game plan that we've seen because of the fact that the maps are supposedly going to be free this year. So if they're going to be adding these free maps, they're going to be adding a Battle Royale or whatever, they're going to have to be making money somehow. Of course, this game had a really big launch, making like, what is it, 600 million, I think they made in like the first couple days or whatever, which was their best release in terms of money making, I think, for new generation consoles. So that probably means since like BO2, which was the last one that was traditionally just on the old generation of consoles. COD Ghost was the first one that was split, where you could get it on, the PS4, the Xbox One, or the 360, or the PS3. And then after that, they just started trashing the graphics on the old game, so everyone upgraded to the new console. I guess that was obviously on purpose. But yeah, a lot of these maps, the thing that I like, first of all, is that most of these are just one name maps. So there's 2 that are 2 name maps. A lot of the map names that we have right now in the game are so damn complicated to say, and I don't even have some of the, like the bridge. I don't know what that one's called. It's something bridge, and then we have a lot of the maps are just hard to say. Stuff like Super, Sub Base, Stadium, Slums, Prison, Port, Oasis, Lumber. This stuff is easy to say, and of course, judging by these pictures, a lot of fan favorite maps are going to be coming back for sure. A lot of stuff, a couple for Gunfight, but I'm glad. I was worried that they were going to add just an unbelievable amount of Gunfight maps and kind of ignore 6v6 and 10v10, but thank goodness it looks like they're going to be treating those with some sort of respect and adding a bunch of DLC maps. Now, this is very interesting because the maps have been getting absolutely trashed so far in this game. Some people like them. There's a couple good maps in this game, but a lot of them have been getting trashed, as probably like the main criticism against this game would be the maps. And this is looking, I guess, really bright. There's a light at the end of the tunnel for people hating on the maps because of the fact that there's no battle pass this year. They're selling not battle pass, that's not the right word, but there's no seasons pass. That's the one I was looking for, where they sell you the map packs. They're going to be dropping this stuff and then sort of probably selling us cosmetics, and I really don't know how they're going to do the cosmetic system in this game. A lot of people are celebrating and cheering, no supply drops, yeah, but obviously they're going to have to make their billions of dollars somehow, so that's going to be interesting what they're going to do with variants or camos or whatever, but we'll have to wait and see. Probably that stuff will be cosmetic only. I think they'll sort of sneak in some way to get variants that help you out in the game. I think it might be a little sleazy the way they're going to do it. That's just my prediction, because I know that if they just throw out camos and calling cards, I don't think the fan base is going to spend the billions like we saw in Black Ops 4. They tried to do a nice system off the start and then eventually just said, you know what, screw it, just buy these weapons, we need money. It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. But yeah, this is very very interesting. A lot of these names stand out. Let me know in the comment section down below if any of this stuff really stood out to you as being super duper exciting. Me seeing that Slums definitely was the one that excited me the most, but of course I'm taking that with a grain of salt because Slums is a map that we've had in Treyarch games, so we could get a map that's Slums in this game, but it could be completely different, or it could be the same. But seeing things like Subbase, which is clearly Infinity Ward map, seeing other things like Crash, clearly Infinity Ward map, Shipment, clearly Infinity Ward map, and then other things like TV Station, Oasis, which who knows how that will sort of play out, is definitely very, very interesting. Anyway, drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Once again, this stuff is all leaked and can change at any time, so who knows, you know, Infinity Ward is really mixing it up this year. They are coming out of left field with different ideas and a completely different way of doing things, so, you know, we're taking it as we go, as things are updated, as things are leaked. I'm going to cover everything, but this is definitely exciting news and something to look forward to in this game whenever they're going to start dropping these maps. Who knows, but I'm definitely very excited. Thanks for watching. Drop a like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one, and that's about it. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new on that road to 1 million. Really, really do appreciate the support, guys. I've been having a ton of fun making these videos and talking about this game a lot, and yeah, I just want to say thank you for all the support, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.